Hello, good evening. This is Sanat Kumar Swai, and we'll be discussing about the need for analyzing the marketing environment in the marketing management in today's class. Okay. So, why is it important to understand the marketing environment, and why is it required to analyze the marketing environment from the marketing perspective? We'll be looking at various slides, and we'll be trying to analyze the marketing environment. Okay. So, analyzing the market. So, introduction. Why do we need to analyze the market, and why is it important in analyzing the marketing environment? See, for any kind of business or various any kind of organization, to understand the marketing environment is extremely important before any kind of strategy is been initiated. So, before making any kind of decision making processes, if there is any strategic decisions need to be taken into consideration, then the marketing environment has to be thoroughly researched and thoroughly understood. Okay. Because the marketing environment is constantly evolving, it is constantly changing. Okay. So to understand the change, to understand the ongoing processes for the changes is extremely important in shaping any kind of decision making processes in any organization. Okay. Next. So, understanding the consumer behavior. Okay. Why do we need to understand the consumer behavior? Okay. So, that is also a part of the um, marketing environment. Okay. The consumer behavior also constitute a important part in the marketing environment. Okay. So, why is it important to understand the consumer behavior in shaping the marketing strategy of any particular environment? See, the marketing environment analysis, while we are doing any kind of marketing analysis, environment analysis, it helps to understand how the customer's preference. Okay, what is the preference of the customers? Okay, what are their needs? Okay, and moreover, what happens is that the needs and their preferences changes. Okay, earlier people were contented with the Nokia phone. Right now, people are they want to know iPhone Pro Max. Okay. So the preferences changes. Our consumers' preferences changes, consumer behavior changes, and it evolves over time. Okay, so that has to be studied in depth to understand the customer behavior. Okay. Moreover, this knowledge is also crucial to understand and develop various kinds of products and services which can meet the market demand, what the market demands. Okay, what the consumer demand. So if you are unable to understand the consumer's behavior, then we are unable to, we are not going to make the relevant products which can suit the market. Okay, so if we are able to understand the consumer behavior properly, then we are also able to develop the right product, or right, we are able to provide the right strategy which can meet the market demand. Okay. Now, consumer behavior is also influenced by various kinds of factors. If you see the Indian market scenario, okay, definitely the marketing environment of different geographical locations have different implications. But if you are going to understand particularly the Indian market scenario, then you will see that our India has been influenced by various kinds of factors. Okay, which also shapes the marketing strategies, like our family dynamics. Okay, our social status. Okay, what do you mean by social status? See, uh, a person he using a Vivo phone and a person using an iPhone Pro Max phone has a different um, um, uh, you know, social status in the society. Okay, so based on the social status, definitely it also shapes the strategies, the marketing strategies of the product making companies. So these behaviors, okay, these behaviors help the organizations and the companies to shape their marketing strategies respectively. Okay. Now, importance of customer behavior, consumer behavior. We go in the slide, we'll see that if you are able to understand the importance of consumer behavior, then you will see better marketing and communication strategies can be developed. We are able to develop proper marketing strategies. We are able to develop the proper communication strategies. Next, that also improves to customer retention. We can retain our customer more effectively. Okay, so that is also one of the important factor for consumer behavior. Okay, next, increase customer loyalty. Definitely, if we are able to gain customer loyalty, okay, consumer loyalty, then that also is going to help the organization, or that is going to help the company in a long run. Okay. Next, better plan inventory. So with this we can have proper inventory plan, okay, for the company. Okay. Next, increase sales. So the sales also, the figures of the sales also grow if we are going to understand the consumer behavior of a particular market. Okay. Research competition. So we'll have a competitive edge in the market if we are able to understand the consumer behavior in a particular location. Now, identifying opportunities and threats. So what are the opportunities and what are the threats in any organization? So in any organization, there are two types of environment. One is internal environment and one is external environment. So here we'll be discussing about the external environment, okay, and what are the potential threats and potential challenges, potential opportunities which an organization face. So there is a SWOT analysis. Okay, and what do you mean by SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis is strength, weakness, and opportunities and threats any organization is going to face. Okay, and the next is pestle analysis. Earlier we used to call it as pest analysis. PEST. Pest means political, economic, social, and technological. But with another two factors which has been included, that is environmental and legal factors. So with the inclusion of environmental and legal factor, it is known as pestle analysis. We'll be discussing about the SWOT analysis in a detailed way. So what do you mean by SWOT analysis? Okay. When a particular organization is going to enter any particular market, then that organization has to do SWOT analysis. So S stands for strength. Okay, so what are the strength of that company? What are the strength of that organization? What are the things which that particular organization is doing well? What is the uniqueness in that company? Okay, and whether they are providing a proper services to the market or not. Okay, so that is all about strength. What are the strengths of that particular company? Now, weaknesses. What are the areas which need to be improved? Okay, and whether that adequate resources are available or not, and if various resources are there, what resources we can take into consideration to improve our performance. So those are the weaknesses, okay, we need to understand. Next is opportunity. Okay, so are there market gaps in our service? What are our goals this year? So if you see that while doing the marketing strategies, while taking marketing strategies into consideration, whether there is any market gap in our services or the products which we are putting in the market, whether there's a market gap in that, and what should be the goal for this particular year, that is counts to opportunity. Okay, now next is threat. Okay, are there any industry change? Okay, are there any industry change, and what new market trends are on the horizon? So threats means, see, there are definitely you see there are a lot of competitors all around. For any organization, you will see there are multiple competitors. So what are the changes? Is there any industry change, and how we can deal with it? For the competitors, okay, are we well prepared to meet the competitors, and what are new markets, okay, the emerging markets on the horizon, which can be put in our radar. Okay, so those are known as potential threats. Next is pestle. Okay, pestle analysis. Pestle analysis means P stands for political, E for economic, S for social, T for technological, and E for environmental, and L for legal. Okay, so what do you mean by political? Now you see, political means if there is any kind of war, any kind of you know you see the political scenario of China. Okay, it is kind of a dictatorship. Okay, one man army. Okay, no democracy in those country. Korea, for instance. Okay, sorry, North Korea, for instance. So there you will see that there is no democracy. So if a company is operating in this kind of countries, then definitely it has to understand the political scenario of those countries very effectively. Okay. Second is in case of war, you'll see that there's a ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. Okay. And more recently, there's also an ongoing war between Israel and Gaza. So if a company wants to enter those countries, what should be the repercussion? What should be the issues? Okay, what should be the challenges the company is going to face? So definitely these all counts in the political scenario of any marketing strategy. If if any organizations wants to enter those markets, then they have to understand the political scenario of that particular countries. Next is what is the taxes um, those countries, what kind of taxes are being levied on the organization. That is also important to understand. Next is economic. So what do you mean by economic? Economic means you see the company or the organization have to check the economic viability while entering into any market. What do you mean by economic viability? See, most of the countries, most of the places are oversaturated. Okay, let's say for example a company. Why do the company? All the companies they have been decked up and they have been lined up to enter into the Indian market. Why is that so? Because you'll see that it is cost effective for the company. Okay, because still the Indian market is not saturated enough. Okay? There is enough room for most of the organization, most of the companies around the world. Okay, but if you see the developed countries, um, United Kingdom, USA, okay, the Western world, you'll see that most of the companies, most of the countries, they're already saturated. Okay, so uh, when the companies they want to enter this kind of countries, then there are high saturated markets. Okay, and there is a price inflation in these markets, there is a high GDP in these markets, so these all things has to be taken into consideration while getting into the market. Next is social. Okay, what do you mean by social? Social means the purchasing power, the purchasing power of any particular area or particular people, particular location as important. What is the cultural trend? What is the uh, budgeting parity in those places? That all counts into social factor, the pestle analysis. Next is technological factor. So what do you mean by technological factor? When we are entering, see, if a company is entering, wants to operate in the Bangalore, or if a company wants to operate in the Northeast, so that's a huge difference, because see, some places are technologically far advanced than some other places. Okay, so those factors need to be taken into consideration while operating in those particular areas. Okay, so that all comes under technological, whether there is a high level of expertise, technological expertise in those particular location, whether various kinds of latest developments are taking place, technological developments are taking place in those locations. That is important, okay, while operating in those particular locations. Next is environmental. Okay, environmental means while any any organization or any company is entering into any market, they have to be considerate enough for environmental causes. They have to understand what kind of environmental causes or environmental damages they are going to do in those particular. And the last is legal. Okay, so what do you mean by legal? What are the laws? Okay, what are the laws for operating in those particular uh, locations? Okay, so that has to be taken into consideration before entering into that geographical location. Okay. These are all about the pestle analysis. Now, competitive intelligence. What do you mean by competitive intelligence? See, competitive intelligence means you have to be competitive enough. Okay. The competitive scenario, okay, the competition is growing rapidly, and the competitive landscape is changing very rapidly. Okay, to stay abreast, to stay on the front runner of the industry, you have to be competitive. Any organization has to be competitive enough so that they stay in the forerunner of the organization of the industry. Okay, they head in the industry, they have to be very competitive enough, and that all creates to competitive intelligence. So how intelligent you are, how competitive you are in entering into any market is important to understand the analyze the marketing environment. Regulatory compliance. What do you mean by regulatory compliance? See, for instance, there are regulatory bodies. There are regulatory bodies, SEBI, CBI, for the banking sector. Okay, so various kinds of bodies are regulatory bodies are there which regulate. Okay, certain industry regulatory bodies are there. Okay, to regulate the bank, there are regulatory bodies. Okay, to regulate various financial institutions, there are regulatory bodies. To regulate the IT industry, there are regulatory bodies. So you see there are a lot of regulatory bodies all around, and particularly for pharmaceuticals. Okay, that's a few industries are zero error jobs. Not a single error can be tolerated. Okay. For instance, pharmaceutical, this is zero error job. It cannot be tolerated. A single error can also be catastrophic. It can put catastrophic effect on the society. So that has to be a zero error job. So now, to understand the regulatory compliance in any particular location is very important while entering into any business location or business scenario. While a company is entering into any business location, they have to be aware of the regulatory compliance of that particular technological advancement. The technology is advancing in a very rapidly and very drastically these days. So India is seeing one of the major technological changes, technological advancement, particularly in the IT sector. Okay. So what is the consumer behavior and what is the consumer expectancy? What do the customer expect? Okay, particularly if an organization, if a company is about the um, technology. Okay, so how they are shaping the technology, that is important. So if that uh, industry, if that company is able to understand the consumer behavior and how the technological advancement is going to understand create a competitive atmosphere among the consumer and the market, that is important. So technological advancement also plays an important role in understanding the marketing, analyzing the marketing environment. So technology, importance of technology in marketing. So how how technology is effective in the marketing processes. What does it do? It creates a pace within the competitors. Definitely, there are competitors all around, so it has to create a pace among the competitors. Next, establishing effective communication. There has to be an effective communication strategy in the technology marketing. When we are doing the technology marketing, then there has to be effective communication strategies. Efficiency in operation. Uh, why was Nokia out of the operation? Why was Nokia out of industry? Because efficiency in operation, it was unable to operate efficiently. Okay, so if any company wants to operate efficiently, then there has to be proper efficient operation. If they want to be in the market, then they have to have, that's a extremely important criteria, that they have to be extremely um, efficient in their operations. Okay. And then research capability. What kind of research capability? See the features of an Oppo or a Vivo, the Chinese phone makers. It is extremely high level features which they have put in the phone, and that too with a cost effective. Okay. So if we are getting, if the customers are getting high level, high end features in a very cheap or very uh, less expensive phones, why would they go for high expensive phones? Okay, so you have to have your research capability if you want to retain, if you want to stay in the industry. So that is all about the importance of technology in the marketing process. Okay. Now, economic factor. What do you mean by economic factor? Economic factor is a very important factor because see, it also determines the inflation rates. Okay, what are the exchange rates? Okay, whether the consumers can are having the spending capability. Okay, and these all factors make a significant impact on the decision making processes while doing any kind of strategic marketing scenarios. Okay, okay. Then comes the pricing factors. Okay, what while putting the pricing strategies. Okay, to understand the economic situation of the particular location, geographical location plays a very important role while we are doing the pricing strategy. What should be the pricing strategy? That is important before understanding the pricing strategy. The economic condition of a particular place is very important. So you see, if we consider the case of India, in the Indian market scenario, you will see that the marketing professionals, they have to stay updated. Okay, they have to stay updated in the various kinds of economic trends which are constantly evolving, because there is a fluctuation in the GDP growth, inflation growth, and the income level parity in the Indian market. Okay, so economic factors also plays a very important role in shaping the marketing decisions. Okay, social and cultural factors. So analyzing the societal trend and cultural shifts is also very important in understanding the target audience, and also taking while taking the decision making process. So see, a lot of countries, a lot of geographical locations are having their own cultural diversity. Okay, their cultural to understand the cultural diversity, to understand the cultural problems, to understand the various kinds of languages, their tradition, customs. Okay, any country, that is extremely important in shaping the um, marketing strategies. Okay, so these factors also plays an important role. Okay, while we are doing the marketing strategies, while we are doing the uh, decision making processes, so that strategies should resonate, with the various kinds of segments of the population. Okay, it should not be suitable to a particular segment, and that should not that should be suitable to a particular segment. That should resonate with the entire population. That is going to resonate with the entire population, then definitely that is going to help in the long run while shaping the marketing strategy of a particular organization. Now, environmental and sustainability concerns. Okay, what do you mean by environmental concerns? When any organization is operating in a particular um, place, they have to be aware of the environmental concerns of that place. Okay, moreover, that if that is having any sustainability issues, that should also be taken into consideration. Okay, and what is the expectations, the environmental expectations of that particular place, what is the sustainability goal of that of the organization, that should be taken into consideration while making any kind of decision or while making any kind of strategies. Okay, market segmentation, although we have already studied in the previous class. Okay, so why is it important in the marketing environment while doing any kind of marketing environment analysis? Because it helps to understand the market effectively. It helps to understand the market effectively and target the consumer groups while making any kind of marketing strategy. So that is why marketing segmentation is also of utmost importance. Now, if you see the slide, you see that what is the basis of marketing segmentation. This also we have already studied in the previous class, that this is geographic segmentation, then demographic segmentation, psychographic, and behavioral segmentation. So geographic, it is about all about region, your market density, what is the market size of the market, etc., etc. And demographic is like what is the occupation, what's the gender, what is the sex, what is the social class, this what's the family class. So these all includes the demographic segmentation. Now psychographic segmentations is all about what is the lifestyle, what is the personality, what values, okay, what is the customs, what is the beliefs in a particular religion or particular culture. So these all shapes your psychographic segmentation. And behavioral segmentation is about your occupation, your benefits, whether you are ready for kind of segmentation, all your behavioral segmentation. Now, supply chain and distribution management. What do you mean by supply chain and distribution management? See, when there is a when a company operates, there has to be logistical management. That logistical and the distribution setup, the entire logistic and the entire distribution setup is known as supply chain and distribution. So, to understand the entire logistical distribution setup, okay, it is important that the product and services are rendered, okay, or which can effectively reach the consumer in a more effectively and cost effectively, that can reach in a less amount of time. Okay, that can reach in a easy and proper way, then that is all relates to the supply chain distribution management process. Now, globalization. What do you mean by globalization? The entire industry or the entire world these days has become extremely globalized. What do you mean by globalized? Globalized means we are going to understand the international factors, uh, what are the implications and what are the impacts on the domestic market with the international aspirations or ambition. Like let's say when a US based company is entering, is operating in the Indian soil, so definitely it is having its own international expectations, it is having its own international operations and ambitions. So that may or may not be um, wholly, that may or may not be wholly acceptable or operatable in the Indian scenario. But as because companies are going global, okay, they are putting a lot of effort, they're putting a lot of research into understanding of this globalized world and while doing the businesses in a domestic market. So globalization, what factors need to be understood while while a company is doing in a globalized world. So it is about economic, cultural, political, military, social, ideological, religious, and so these are the few factors which need to be understood by any kind of organization before they enter into any globalized I mean, when they are going global with their product or services. Okay. Now, strategic planning. What do you mean by strategic planning? See, there has to be a proper strategy. Okay. While you are doing any kind of planning, when the businesses are doing any kind of planning, there should be a strategy. Okay, there should be a strategic planning. They should be well prepared in various kinds of plannings. Okay, so that they can respond to the market competition and they can also be competitive in nature. They can remain competitive in the market. Okay, so there has to be strategic planning for all the market business organizations. Okay. So this is the strategic marketing planning. Okay, there are three phase you can see. One is the strategic phase, the second is the tactical phase, and the third is the operational phase. So what is the strategic phase? So strategic phase is all about your goals and your current situation. Okay, so the strategic planning is what is your goal, okay, and what is your current situation. So it includes your mission, your objectives, your marketing assessments, what kind of marketing your assessments you're doing, your SWOT analysis, and your assumption. You are assuming to have this or that, or you are assuming that the situation should be this or the market should be this. Okay. Then comes the tactical phase. So tactical phase is about the strategic and tactical planning. Okay. So the strategic planning. So what kind of marketing strategies you are having? Okay. What is your planning for your results? What kind of results you are expecting, and your tactics and various kinds of plans you are going to execute. So this all comes under the tactical planning phase. Okay. Next comes the operational phase. Okay. Operational phase means implementation and the monitoring. Okay. What do you mean by implementation and monitoring? If you are going to implement something and you are going to monitor it in a efficient and a strategic way. So for that, what is important? Your budget. Okay, how much budget has been allocated to that particular implementation, and your operational planning. What kind of operational planning you have if already thought of. Okay, so this is all about the strategic planning management. Now, risk management. Obviously, when you are going to enter into a particular market, or you are going to study any marketing behavior, okay, in the market, then definitely there is a risk factor evolves. Okay, so what are the risks and how you can minimize those risks? So before understanding those risks, you have to identify the potential risk. What are the potential risk of the and our uncertainties in the marketing environment, okay, and the businesses? And do you have any contingency plans? Do you have any planning if such kind of issues arises? Okay, any kind of mitigating strategies arise to safeguard your operations. This all comes under risk management and what kind of contingency plans we normally have. Okay, so with this we have come to the end of the slide that analyzing the marketing environment is extremely important, and that is a continuous evolving process. Okay, it is not a static process, rather it's a evolving process, and we have to understand, we have to be very focused, we have to understand what are the marketing environment issues, and so that we can make an informed decision. Okay, we can adapt to the change if there is any changes which is occurring in the market environment, and we can make an informed decision, and we can maintain also a competitive edge in the complex business landscape. It also provides, okay, the necessary intelligence, okay, to ensure that uh, we can have a very effective marketing strategy. Okay, marketing strategy is a very important aspect while getting into any kind of market. Okay, before entering into the market, we have to have a marketing strategy and understand the market scenario well in advance, so that we can have a multi and long term success in the market scenario. So thank you very much. With this, we have concluded analyzing the marketing environment scenario in the marketing management. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.